It should be a wonderful conference.
Yes, I, I do just want to jump in and acknowledge that we are recording this meeting. So want to make sure that that's okay with everyone. If not, please let us know. We'll be happy to share that.
Nina, Luca is asking for the link to the conference.
I don't know the whole length of the conference. I uh, fitted my part with the other laser chairs in less than half an hour. Whether we make it or not, Thelma, you tell.
No, I meant the link, the internet link to the conference.
Oh, I will send it to you, okay? Because I
Thank
have
you.
it
Already posted
Yes,
on chat.
There you go. Thank you, Laura.
Laura, are you coming tomorrow
Sorry, but where?
to the Media Art History
Well,
Conference?
the funny enough, I have some doctoral students who at least present, but maybe online. I thought I'm not coming, but today my boss was asking if I would go because apparently Uni Arts in Helsinki and Aalto might be doing some of the next ones. But I am not sure. I haven't yet because it just came to me like 2 hours ago. So, but you're going, so of course it's more tempting knowing that some of you
Yeah,
will be there.
I am going, and if you need any information, I am very happy to supply.
Yeah, yeah. I have to kind of first look if it's possible in any way with the academic crazy schedules.
Yes, I I I tell everything what I know.
I think actually we should kick off this meeting before we start running out of time. So thank you very much for joining us around the world today. We're very pleased to host our second laser convening and take time to reflect on the state of the Leosphere and open up a space for exchange across our community. We will begin actually with a snapshot of Leonardo's journey over the past year, presented by our CEO Diana Eaton-Senker. Following that, Terme Rasi, our Chief Strategy Officer and Editorial Director, will walk us through the Leonardo branding landscape, emerging opportunities, and publications that define Leonardo's impact. Next, we are thrilled actually to have Nina Zegledi, long-standing Leonardo board member, lead an interactive session exploring cross-cultural engagement and global perspectives. And finally, we will wrap up with a presentation of a project, an open space for exchange, led by me, to gather feedback, questions, and ideas. And it's going to be an opportunity for all voices in our community to be heard. So let's make the most of our time together today. And I would like to welcome Diana.
Well, thank you so much, Christiana. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Before we got started, Piero came on walking through the streets of, did you say Palermo? Somewhere in Italy, somewhere wonderful in Italy where we all wish we were. And Terme, our chief strategy officer, said, "Oh, wow, we get to meet the famous Piero." And I want to acknowledge how exciting it is to come together.
Okay,
Most of you know each other or have known each other over the years, but we are increasingly and constantly inspired by the flow of leadership and energy coming through this community, animated most profoundly by this laser network. The host of Laser is the face of the organization in many ways. the companion to our publications and our programs that have grown enormously over the last 5 years, from lasers to now include fellowships and residencies and experimental art experiences and environments that touch people in over 130 countries around the world. Oh. I am honored to come together at this moment because I absolutely know and see that this is a moment for agency, and it's a moment where applied creativity is absolutely essential, not just for our own livelihoods and lively lives, not only for our own creative spirit, and not only for our organization, Leonardo, the International Society of Arts, Science, Technology, but most importantly for the world around us, the world outside of Leonardo.
It's okay, it's fine. I was just writing.
Shinwei, I'm going to ask you to mute your.
Okay, well.
There we go. The world around us, the sounds that come in, are calling for Leonardo's leadership and visionary voices to guide us through what we are clearly seeing as a tectonic shift in the ground beneath our feet. We can't come together as an organization in the end of March 2025 and not acknowledge that we are facing fears and affronts to creative freedom, academic freedom, the freedom of exchange of ideas that we not only hold dear, but we live by. One of the ways that we counter the fear of this infringement on our creative rights, our free speech, our academic freedom, is to counter those attempts to silence or control us with the exercise of our freedom and our rights. And that's what we do with lasers. We come together not as political protest, not as political statement, but as political assertion and celebration that we are a community of explorers, of investigators, of inquisitive, curious, irrepressible seekers of new ways of being through art and science and technology. And I can't say enough how much this means to us as an organization to have a network that has now grown to 60 cities around the world. We are more and less active in different places, but imagine when we began, long before I was part of this community, long before I served as your CEO, to now span the world with 60 lasers. And I think that this is just beginning to explode exponentially. Because what we offer I'm hearing an echo. Is that just me? Okay. What we offer for our communities is a safe space to bring those unsafe ideas, the two favorite two-word questions I've shared before, what, so what, and what if. That's what we do when we come together. I'm going to pause here because I'm realizing that my passion for this moment and how we are meeting this moment is overtaking my need to share some hot off the press material, and I'm going to give you just a preview of the new impact report that we will be sharing out soon as a community, to give just a preview of what's to come. The Leonardo Impact Report that our colleague Terme has led in assembling with the support of all of your contributions and all of the incredible team and staff and board of Leonardo, highlights not only activities around the world, but some key themes that you embody in your laser communities and your laser talks that you host. One is to experiment with purpose, with impact, answering that question of so what, purposeful experimentation. The second theme is to recognize excellence democratically, to democratize excellence by bringing in access to voices we don't otherwise hear, we wouldn't otherwise see. And finally, to innovate and collaborate for regeneration, not just as a static collaborative moment of innovating new ideas on their own, but that continue to have a life of their own to support the regeneration of the communities, the fields we touch, the spheres of influence in our societies and around our planet. I'm going to have to wrap up there before getting to some of the more details we might have a chance to discuss in conversation, to give more space for each of you to share where you are in the world through your work with Leonardo as host of Laser. I'm especially thankful to Christiana for pulling together this wonderful convening and for supporting this organization of laser hosts every day throughout the year. So I thank you so much, Christiana. I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Diana. So I think like next we should actually go like to Terme, where she's going to discuss like the Leonardo branding, publications and opportunities.
Hi, everybody. Great to see faces that I know and wonderful to see faces that I have yet to meet. So welcome to all of you. The way that I've structured this next few moments that I have with you is to just go over the latest branding that we have at Leonardo. Then I talk about some best practices that and for some reason Zoom thinks I'm speaking Portuguese, so I don't know what that is. So I'm sorry if for some reason you start seeing strange things on the Zoom. I will give you a sneak peek of the impact report that Diana mentioned, and then I will talk about some opportunities that you have as laser host to participate beyond the events that you engage in and the wonderful work that you do. And I just do want to echo what Christiana said and also what Diana said, which is how much we really, really count on and appreciate the work that you're doing and how that important that is to being able to spread ideas and impact beyond our small circle to the wider world. So with that, let's start with, and I will definitely give you time to ask questions as we go along. So I'm going to start with what is the Leonardo brand and why does it matter that we talk about it? What I want to share with you, and we'll send this to you afterwards, is the fact that we went through this rebranding exercise a couple of years ago. And the reason that actually Danielle Siembieda led the rebranding effort, and the reason that we wanted to do that is to be able to bring together the tone and really maximize the impact and show that when we have the Leonardo logo or the Laser Talk logo or something else on an event or on a publication, it's a shorthand for what the audience can expect. And also to make sure that we're being consistent in the way that we're speaking to audiences, so that when someone goes from one place to another place, they recognize visually and by tone, I know that, I recognize that, and I know what I'm going to get if I go to a laser event or if I pick up a Leonardo publication. I kind of know what to expect and what I'm going to get from them. So what I'm sharing here with you are some of the basics of the branding. I don't know how many of you are familiar with branding, and I would actually love to maybe take a pulse. How many of you have seen this branding guide or have seen the logos and the color palette before? Okay. And how many of you work and have come across working with different brands before? Because you don't necessarily do that unless you're in marketing. Okay. So the reason that we're sharing this with you is to try to encourage everyone to take advantage of the assets that have been created visually to create a uniform look and feel. And again, as I said, the reason that becomes important is that when we start talking about the various laser events, when we start talking about what's happening, we can fit it in within what we're doing without much issue and challenges. So as you can see, we have examples of design and composition that you can take advantage of. We have templates that we've created for you that you can take advantage of. So after this call, we'll make sure that you have kind of the guidance and the templates so that it's really, really easy for you. The one thing that you might come across that might be a challenge is what if you don't have like the specific font that is being used here? And what we will do is we'll make sure that we give you fonts that you can swap out. The goal of this is to make it super easy for you to create promotion material for yourselves and for the events that are coming up without having to put too much effort into it. And so hopefully this is something that makes it easier for you and not more challenging. And the team is here to support you if you come across questions or challenges when you try to do that. The last thing on the branding that I want to mention is the logo that was created for the laser talks. What we did is, so this is interesting. The example you see here is an example of a city-based Leonardo laser talk. And so as you'll see, we still have the old logo, but it's prominently displaying the laser talk kind of lock up within the new logo. So if you don't have your new logo, please let us know. We'll make sure that you have it so that you can start using it. And all of this is important because of being able to promote and being able to drive the maximum number of people. The way that I think about laser talks and the efforts that you have is the effort we put in ahead of time to maximize the number of people that are at your event. Each of you has a very, very different approach to that. Some of you like to keep it more intimate and like to kind of, have a smaller gathering. There's some laser hosts that convene their events at a much larger space, and they like to have hundreds of people at their event. So each of you has a different approach. And so we try to kind of, what I try to do is put together some guidelines that will kind of help you think about that. So one is, who do we get there? How do we get them there? The second is, how do we memorialize what's happening so that, we can archive it, so that we can share it with other people in the network that were not there. And then the third is, after the event takes place, what are some of the takeaways? What are some of the things people learn? What are some of the important discussions that we want to make sure that endures and gets continued in different ways? I had the pleasure of meeting with some of you about 2 years ago, where we talked about sharing thematically what each of you is finding of importance to discuss and being able to coordinate that and share that within the larger network. And so this is one of the ways that we can go ahead and do that. So to that end, this may seem pretty routine for some of you, but we need at least a minimum of 1 month for promotion. That is a lot of times, and again, we have many events, but sometimes we get it a week before. Sometimes we get it 2 days before. Sometimes the details don't come to us until the day before the event's taking place. And I completely understand if that information is not available. But in order for us to be able to maximize promotion and talk about an event, we need to have that time so that we can talk about it. It would be great to have detailed, by the way, I do notice that there is chat comments in the chat, but I would completely lose where I am if I looked at it. So I will come back to it if it's for me. Coming back to if you could provide a detailed description of what is being discussed. A lot of times we get who will be at the event or who will, be attending the event, but we will not know exactly what the discussion is or how it is that it brings together. Some people do that very well. Some people kind of give just a description of the speakers. And if you could provide description of what is to be discussed, that is really helpful in being able to share it with the broader community. If you have images that we could use beyond just the laser talk image and kind of a announcement of the event, that would be fantastic. That will help, as you know, in social media, in some of the platforms. Not only are people more interested in videos and images, but also in terms of the algorithms and how things are shown to audiences. Having images and videos prioritizes those things. So the more of that we have, the better. If you please use the branding guidelines to the extent that you can, that will help us have a uniform and everything will fit very easily within the templates that we have. So it makes it easier. We don't really have a marketing team. So this will just help us be able to do that quicker. I want to share with you. So recording the event to the extent that the conversation, that would be really, really wonderful. But if you're going to do that for the audio, make sure that the recording is clear and the volume is high. I can't tell you how difficult it is to share something when you're straining to hear what the person is saying. So a lot of times that could mean putting a phone on the table where they're discussing it or next to the speakers. If you could have a video of the event, that would be fantastic. But again, a lot of times we get videos that are at the back of the room because the goal is to kind of show the audience and show the whole event. The challenge with that is that you often cannot hear the speakers very well and you cannot see their faces very well. So the video needs to be ideally, I don't want to get super fancy, but we have the phones now do such a good job of recording events. If you can have more than one phone that is recording from different sides of the room, from different angles, that's really helpful. Lighting is really, really important. So pay attention to that. Can you see the audience from the back? So just spend just a few minutes, just kind of look at it and be like, okay, this I think is going to work. Then after the event's done, if you have the time, if you or somebody in attendance could write a summary of the conversation. That is really helpful in both if we decide to promote it afterwards. Sometimes we may not be able to promote something ahead of time, but hey, we can talk about it after it has happened and help elevate not just the conversation, but also the individuals that were a part of that. So try to, and it's a really easy task. Not only can we use that as part of the description and help driving interest, But we can also, if it's something that's a little bit longer, it can go in our blog. And that's a really nice way of being able to promote an event after it has taken place. The point I'm trying to make is, in my opinion, the event is not done the day it gets, the day you have the event. We can continue to take advantage and benefit from the discussion that took place afterwards. And I would love to be able to do that. Send in the videos. Please make sure you send in the videos so that we can upload it to the YouTube channel. If you can, once in a while, if you have the facility, if you have the support, if you feel like, oh, maybe I can live stream this, that's a really good thing to throw in once in a while, because then we can promote it in a much wider audience. And then make sure you have a list of local resources that can help you promote and encourage attendance. Why do I say that? Leonardo's newsletter, Leonardo's social media channels are global. So, for example, if I'm doing something in DC, if something is promoted by the Leonardo social media channels, I may or may not come across individuals who live in DC, because it is not a targeted audience. It's a much global, wider audience, which is why it's perfect for after an event has taken place, because we can share that with a global audience. But in order to drive attendance for a locally hosted event, our channels of promotion have a much broader audience and may not be hitting on who you want to have at that event. So that's why it becomes important to connect with other universities and other cultural institutions, other types of institutions that might have some audiences that would be interested in the conversation, and to really tap into the local resources. Because again, ours is more of a global audience, and it may or may not, hit on the city and the locality that you're interested in.
Excuse me, Terme, can I just jump in there? Because we're going to need to wrap up your incredible presentation to recognize that global platform that we offer, that global community that expands where we are, is exactly what I know Nina wants to lead us into conversation. I want to make sure that we have time for that. It's such an important point you're making. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to really quickly on that, I will just really quickly talk about the opportunities that all of you have that I want to make sure you know about. You know that we have our journal. There are some changes we made in volume 58 that I'm going to talk about that might be of interest to you. We have our book series. We have our reviews. Please connect with the reviews team if you haven't in the past. They're a very helpful resource. They may be locally available to you. And Michael Plant is amazing. And then our graduate abstract for those of you who do work with students or rising scholars. That's a really good way of elevating the work that they do. And I mentioned the blog. Opportunities in the journal. We have launched thematic. We talked about this 2 years ago. We've launched a thematic section called In Focus. We have things planned well into volume 59, issue 4, which is next year, August, to give you an idea of how far ahead of time the journal gets planned and slated. So we have, I've on the screen, you will see that I've shared the thematic focus. That doesn't mean the entire issue is on the theme. It just means that 4 to 6 articles, peer-reviewed, based on a call for paper on that theme exist. This is a good opportunity for you to either coordinate and look at this if it's of interest to you. It could be one of the laser sessions that you're hosting. It could be something that feeds into the creative work that you're doing. The second section that I want to talk to you about is Across Leosphere. We introduced Across Leosphere. One of the reasons was specifically for you. This is a non-peer review section, and it's an opportunity for us to highlight some of the work that's happening across our community. And so it is a really, really good, when we talk about if there's something that's being discussed or is of importance in your community, you know, and something that you want to share and send in, this is a new section for you. So, so these are, with that, I'm going to pause. I'm going to hand it over. I could be talking to you forever. I'm always available. And Christiana, back to you.
Thank you. So actually our next session is on cross-cultural engagement and global perspectives, led by Nina Zekledi. Nina is the Leonardo board member, as well an artist, curator, and educator. She's affiliated with the Laser Toronto and Montreal. She also hosted Leonardo 50 events across the globe back in 2017 and 2018. And her international experience will further support cross-cultural engagement within the Laser network and today's session. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, Nina.
Thank you very much. So much thanks for Diana and Termek and everybody else who already started to talk. And much thanks for Christiana for organizing this very extremely important meeting. And I would like to invite and ask Piero Scaruffi, who initiated the Laser Leonardo Arts and Science Evening Rendezvous Network. Please, Piero.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I hope you can also hear the waves and the wind. It's the only quiet place I could find. The thing that is very important is when Diana and Nina talk about network. When I started the lasers, it was really just a grassroots idea of some Bay Area independents and some scholars. And we thought it was important to do something interdisciplinary and involve the broader audience, the public. But it's really, I want to mention also, of course, Roger Malina, J.D. Talasek, Nina, then later Danielle, and all the way to Christiana. And so that became a network. And that's a big difference from just having a salon of independent people located in the same area. And my feeling is that we can probably do a lot more. I have some ideas. I hope someday we can have a longer conversation about this. I love the fact, initially I was actually a little concerned about the network because everybody was so different. But now I love that. I love the fact that everybody has a different angle, a different format. And I hope there will be, as I said, I hope there will be a chance to have longer conversations and think how to best leverage this really international network now. I really have to thank all the people who worked on making it a global network. That's it. I don't want to waste too much time. And in any case, my phone could die anytime now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Piero. And I would like to say personally that my enthusiasm and respect for Leonardo Art and Science Evening Rendezvous, or the Laser Network, which represents an important, exceptionally independent cross-cultural art and science network organized and operated voluntarily, dates back many years. I would like to pause on the voluntarily note because we have to really recognize that all the people who are working for this network are have to consider to raise funds for the venues often, for the speakers, for travel and speakers' fees, So it is really something which today especially should be very much appreciated. And I propose to celebrate the work and achievements of this network by asking co-curators who convert a great variety of concepts into reality and whose activities spread today over many continents, several continents. And some of our laser chairs are joining us online and some remotely. And those who are joining us remotely send me some of the notes so I can speak for them. First of all, I would like to ask Ellen Levy and Patricia Olenek, who are joining us from New York, the USA, to say a few words about the laser activities. Ellen?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Can you see me yet?
Yes.
Okay, it wasn't clear to me. Thanks everyone for this convening, especially Diana, Christiana, you, Piero, all the people who succeeded in putting together and continuing these meetings. I very much agree with the reflections that each of us has developed our own individual way of convening these lasers. And I was personally thrilled how successful, particularly our collaboration with other groups of interested and important societies, institutions, has also contributed. For example, the last meeting we had was in tandem with the College Art Association, where Leonardo is an affiliate. And there were some really amazing discussions. We attracted over 60 people, which is really the capacity for our space. And another time, I think of collaborating with Sciland and SciFest. These have been really remarkable opportunities. So many people stop us. I know this happens with Patricia and with me, to thank us for holding them. And many people are interested in participating in various ways. I'll let Patricia continue.
Thanks, Ellen. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I apologize. I don't know if there's an update that is needed, but I can't get my video to work. I just turned into a giant green screen. So please accept my still, but know that I am indeed animated. Yeah, Nina, thank you for your lovely invitation. Ellen, great to see you this morning. And everyone, thanks for being here. I echo everything that Ellen said. I know that we are always amplifying the good work of Leonardo through our activities internationally. I mean, this is one of the wonderful aspects of disseminating our own research globally through exhibitions and conferences and symposia, that we are always representing ourselves as co-chairs of the New York Laser Program. And I think this has brought a great deal of visibility to the program. In case you don't know, I go back and forth between New York. My academic base is Washington University in St. Louis. So I have been going back and forth to New York for probably about 25 years now. And Ellen and I have been co-hosting the laser events for 14 plus years. But I would say that our representation of the lasers is absolutely international. We bring Leonardo with us everywhere we go, and I this is in conferences where I think there are quite a number of other laser participants and chairs, including Isaiah and SLSA, Society for Literature, Science, and the Arts. So, and I also echo Nina's comments about volunteering. We do fundraise. We don't fundraise. We actually financially back the support for our own convenings. So I think it's a testimony to how terrific this organization is, that so many great people have come to the table to volunteer. And given my involvement with Leonardo over the years, I do think this is really where the very pulse of the organization lies, is in its people. So I'll close there.
Thank you very much, Patricia. And Victoria Vesna from UCLA, Los Angeles, tries to connect with us. Victoria, are you online? Maybe not. So on her behalf, I say that the lasers at UCLA are in parallel to the exhibitions that are installed in the CNSI Art Science Gallery. The topic would go along with the artist's interest, and they would help to make invitation. Next exhibition is presenting Joel Ong from Canada. Janine Randerson and Ziggy Lever from Auckland, New Zealand. They are unable to participate, so on behalf of them, I would like to say that, and please forgive me some of these Maori words I don't pronounce maybe well. So, Tamaki Makarau, Auckland, laser tags, foreground diverse intersections and world views from indigenous Maori science and scientists, citizen scientists, activists, and leading researchers in creative or scientific fields. The laser events take place quarterly in Tamaki Makarau or Auckland, New Zealand, as forums, panel presentations, or virtual webinar forums. Next on my list was Laura Beloff, who unfortunately had to leave. And Laura and Pia Fricker are based at Aalto University and Helsinki, and they have been doing a lot of very interesting lasers over the years. Morten Sondergaard is now in transit in Canada. He is from Denmark, and he is actually not only working in Denmark, but organizes lasers in other Scandinavian countries, and is now in the process of raising funds for a cross-Scandinavia laser network. And then I would like to talk about Montreal, Canada laser team. Ricardo Del Ferra and myself are co-chairs there. At latest in February 2025 at Concordia University, we explored the intersection of artificial intelligence and human-computer interaction and new approaches to musical practice. Gabriele Vigliansoni from Concordia and Marcello Vanderly from McGill University explored and discussed among themselves in public how technological advancement reshape music creation and performance. All our Montreal lasers are supported by the Hexagram Research Creation Network. And finally, I would like to say something about Roberta Buoni, Toronto, and myself. We usually have 2 lasers in Toronto per year. The events generally are well attended, and the latest with Jonah Bruckner-Cohen from New York was focused on university student participation, and we had around 50 of them and 50 more viewers online. And I think I have left out several of our laser presenters. For that, I apologize, and I go back to you, Christiana.
Thank you, Nina. And actually, our last session for today is I'm going to present a project that we're actually thinking to start with Leonardo, that I would like to gather your feedback, if possible, on the format and frequency. Just please give me one moment. So basically, instead of hosting office hours, we have this idea of hosting open space for exchange, quarterly online gatherings for our laser network, with the aim actually to inspire, foster dialogue, collaboration, and knowledge sharing across discipline and between actually our laser practices. So the whole idea is actually how we can provide a platform to engage with the Leosphere and even actually invite creatives and catalysts from other programs and lead thematic discussions emerging from Leonardo's publications and programmatic activities such as fellowships and Leonardo labs. So the objectives actually are to present laser programming models from different host organizations, including the missions and activities of each organization, share news and insights on current events, trends, upcoming programs, and challenges faced transculturally, promote the co-creation of projects among laser chairs, and foster partnerships with Leonardo, provide a platform for professional development by inviting guest speakers who propose alternative perspectives to the community, facilitate open and meaningful discussions across diverse fields, and host thematic conversations aligned with topics emerging from Leonardo publication and programs, as well as featuring guest speakers from our database. We have actually a database that from speakers that they want to participate on laser events. And there is actually an opportunity to give an emphasis on underrepresented voices. And finally, liaise with Leonardo's team regarding operational issues and offer ongoing support. So if you have any issues, you can discuss actually at the end of the meeting. And then I can follow up based on the needs. So the format actually can be quarterly, 60 to 90 minutes, online via Zoom, over coffee and cocktails. And that's actually a short presentation. And now I would like to invite you to provide some feedback and thoughts on that. So what do you think about the format, whether the online is and the frequency? And whether actually this is an idea that you could be interested in engaging online, or you think there's too many meetings over the year?
That would be my only concern, is that with the number of sort of podcasts and meetings and online lectures, symposia, et cetera, there is a kind of exhaustion that I think a lot of us are kind of experiencing with online events. But I really do think it's a great idea, and that it's really case by case whether or not people are available. I think there's a strong community built around Leonardo, and I think certainly that community would make themselves very, very, very available for this. But I think most of us probably spend a lot of time online, is my feeling. I don't have any solution to this problem, but just throwing in my observations.
See in the chat, thank you, Heather, for suggesting maybe twice a year. Quarterly might be too much. And Luca, I want to hear more about this intriguing idea of summer or winter camp. Since we all can't easily come together in the same location. I wonder if there's a way that we can bring some of the spirit of that to coming together as a community with technology, or what your thinking is there.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, of the continuation that is online exhaustion. What I'm seeing is labs I collaborating with. They do once a year or once each 2 years. They meet somewhere where they can discuss, maybe go hiking, and be outside a certain environment, and maybe develop this. That being said, can be also around the coffee machine. Nothing fancy is to be implemented, but there's just yeah, that's basically the idea.
I had trouble hearing some of that. Maybe others caught it, but Luca, what I'm appreciating is the recognition that we like to come together, and that in this Zoomified period we're in, we're needing more of that social connection in person. So I wonder if maybe there's a way to tie in with other gatherings as we've done before, so we're not adding to the busy schedule of our calendar, but augmenting what might be there in a way that's playful and animating our connection. In the meantime, Christiana's done such a wonderful job in putting out some of the ideas of how we could make our online time together meaningful. I'm hearing maybe shorter intervals, or less frequency. But I'm curious what's most meaningful when we do come together. How do you want to use that time? What's most helpful, and how can we best support that?
If I may, just look up to just to continue saying that we did it once in San Francisco, 2018. That was amazing. Worked very well. There was kind of workshops, discussion, etc. And one possibility, because since we are all around the world, maybe it would be like making regional gathering or retreat, or maybe the Alps is goes by, or these kind of things. And but also it can be also a way to develop publication skills and go thorough on certain topics. Not just utopian idea, but I think for the sake of research, this is, I think, it would be interesting. I absolutely have no idea how to find the space whatsoever, but it's just a continuation. It could be also not only one or the other, but it can be a combination of online and presence. So that's it.
Thank you. And Mauro, thank you for reminding us of the wonderful organization Christiana brought to laser convenings around Isaiah and Ars Electronica, tying in with those gatherings. I love the idea of also having a regional opportunities, as you might choose to initiate in various regions where you are. The gathering 2018 for the 50th anniversary, of course, sparks ideas we're already starting to consider for our 60th anniversary coming up 2028. So important to bring that idea forward.
I have a question. I'm wondering if you feel like you know enough about, would it be helpful for us to communicate about the various programs? To what extent do you feel like you know what's happening around the various areas of activity that we have? And would that be, do you feel like you need more information, or do you need more support when it comes to certain things that you're working on in terms of connecting you with others? I know, Christiana, there's a lot of that already. But I'm just wondering if specific gatherings or online meetings around a certain topic is helpful at all.
We're practicing that exercise of feeling comfortable with some quiet, and while everyone's thinking their ideas and enthusiasm about being together. I know that we're coming up on the hour, and I want to turn it back to Christiana to close us out, but acknowledge how many great ideas are being germinated now, and that we will continue to listen and learn from your guidance how we can best support and connect you with the community and activities of Leonardo around the world. The regular newsletters that come out try to approach some of that, updating the opportunities Terme highlight for participating in various publications platforms, connecting in with our themes, connecting in with other program activities, fellowships, residencies, exhibits, gatherings, our scholarly work. The themes of the publications may be increasingly echoed in themes of our programs, and we welcome your direction there and your participation. I think that the space we want to hold for this community is also the way that we learn from all of you, what as a radar system of what's going on in the world, where you are, where you're at the cutting edge. And so I think there's a terrific opportunity here to not only inspire the direction of the organization and our endeavors, but each other by building this community in the platform and offering that Christiana is presenting.
Thank you, Diana. Before we close, actually, we had a comment from Natalia. She raised her hand before, like to comment, I think, on the Termes question.
My name is Natalia Kaladay. I'm a co-host of Silent Leonardo Talks. And just a general comment, I think if we have maybe like online, like once a year, and then have a regional meeting, and according to the CIA and Ars Electronica and ASIA and other conferences, like in person. So that's maybe like a viable idea. Like, because I really enjoyed attending Ellen's and Patricia laser talk during the CIA, and I think it brought like a lot of wonderful conversations and a lot of energy to the talks, and was completely full. So,
and actually with that, I think it's time to close today's meeting. Thank you all for your thoughtful contributions and presence. And we look forward actually to staying connected until next time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Christiana.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice to see you all.
Great seeing everyone. Stay well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Obrigada.
Daddy.
Hi, Christiana. It's Jill.
Yes, hello, Jill. Nice to see you. Sorry for I think there was a confusion with the timings, but I'm going to
Yeah, it's because
recording.
the daylight saving just changed about an hour ago here. So
I'm going to send you the recording so that you are up to date.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about that. I'm actually also going to send, I'm doing 4 lasers this year, so I'm going to send them over to you. All the information. Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right. Ciao, ciao. Sorry I missed it. Bye-bye.
Bye.